So you may be wondering why all of my videos are basically in a forest, and there's a reason for that. One is because I live in a forest, I live right in the middle of a forest, and the other is the kind of gouache that I'm always talking about is something called ecological gouache. Now, ecological gouache is all about the movements of nature and the movements of a tree. And so whenever I'm talking about gouache, I'm almost always referring to what's going on inside the natural world. And so whatever's going on inside this tree is essentially going on inside of us. It's basically the same principles. Of course, the tree's got a sap inside it and it's pretty simple, but the principles involved with what's going on inside that tree is exactly the same principles as what's going on inside our bodies. So let's start off today by talking a little bit about using a gouache tool. And notice this is my gouache tool, which is from the environment around me, and of course cost me nothing, and if I drop it, it doesn't break. It's down here and it's intact, which the most depressing feeling in the world is when you buy a really nice tool which is made of some kind of stone, and it looks fantastic, and you use it and think, oh my goodness, this is marvelous, and then you drop it and boom, it's gone. You've got to buy a new one. So I've got my stone here. Now, it's not made of anything special, it's made of stone, and it's going to do the same thing, because one of the great myths about gouache is that the tool really affects what goes on inside your body. Well, it doesn't. Of course, it's helpful, and if you get a certain tool for a certain type of condition, well, yeah, it's going to do something. But it's not that important, which is why I'm always going on about using the tools around you. If you don't have a nice fancy tool, it's okay. You can use a spoon, a Chinese soup spoon, not a normal spoon which is made of metal, because that's too hard and too sharp and you're going to hurt yourself. So a Chinese soup spoon is fine. But here is my trusty spoon. No, it's not a spoon, is it? Here is my trusty stone. If you live near the sea or anything like that, then you go along and find a really nice pebble. So let's have a look at using the tool on the face, but let's have a look at the stomach channel. Now, the stomach channel, it starts from somewhere around here, although a lot of places that you're gonna see if you look online will say it starts just here, but in fact it starts right there, and then it's coming down around the side of your mouth down to the middle part of your chin, and then comes back, and then actually comes to the jawline, and then straight up to about there, and then the main branch kind of comes off it around here, down your neck, and then all the way down the front of your body. If we're going to come down the front of my body here and down to this area here, which will be your thigh muscle, your vastus lateralis here, and coming down the front part of the leg, kind of on the lateral side of the tibia, and comes all the way down and down to your 3 toes, and actually also to the also to the big toe, the end of the big toe as well. So it's pretty important, and it's pretty important for this part of your face, the part of your face which covers your cheek, your chin, your jaw, your neck. It's pretty important to get all of this in a right state of having circulation coming up and down the stomach channel. You have to scrape downwards, down the chest area, down the abdominal area, down the front of the thigh, down the front and slightly to the lateral side of the lower leg, and then down towards the middle toes, and also the big toe at the end. So it's this basic understanding of the circulation system, which is very, very important if you want to have great results and results which last. And of course, the stomach channel is more than just the face. So what you're actually treating is the stomach channel, which goes through the stomach, it goes through the pancreas, it goes through the digestive system. It's connected with so many other of the organs in your body. So if you want to have a look at the stomach channel, it's kind of featured in the first gouache book, which is called the Gouache Self-Treatment Guide. It's got the basic channels according to traditional Chinese medicine. And then in the facial gouache book, it's talking about something called the sinew channels, which is the muscles which are just above these channels, and which are pretty much the same thing for a gouache tool. And then in the third book, the holographic gouache book, that's based on the Huangdi Neijing, and so there's some slight variations of where the circulation system and the sinew system is, but pretty much is there. So the holographic one has got both. And also this is all featured in my ecological gouache courses, which is teaching this whole revolutionary idea about how the body works based on ecology. So if you want more of this stuff, click the like button and the subscribe button, and come and visit me on social media. Come and see my Instagram feed, and come and join the Facebook group, and there's a Facebook page, and of course the websites. clivewhittam.com is a kind of general website about gouache, the books, explains quite a lot of stuff, and the institute, which is the Komorebi Institute, which is the only institute in the world to teach ecological gouache, and it's my flagship for opening the door to understand all of this and this.